Nika Consulting is a management consulting firm that intersects the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And in that regard, we work to help organizations of all types, private, public sector, different sizes, different industries, to integrate into their business frameworks strategic diversity and intentional inclusion for the benefit of optimizing performance and success. I am incredibly passionate about this work because I see firsthand the benefits of being in spaces where there's a huge sense of belongingness and a huge sense of value and acceptance. I recognize that people cannot show up at their best if they're always questioning whether or not they belong. And so it behooves us as leaders, as influencers, to certainly be intentional about creating those opportunities where the environment leads to success for all people to reach their full potential.
Diversity and inclusion is a leadership function. It is a growth capability. It is a competency that everyone should have, regardless if you are in a position of leadership or not. You have influence. I find that this is really important because too many people begin to think that the role of diversity and inclusion is solely the responsibility of those who carry the title of D&I officer, manager, director, or even the HR professionals. But the reality is that this is not true. We all have a role to play in helping to facilitate and foster diversity and inclusion in the environments in which we belong.
Authenticity is at the heart of this work of inclusion and belonging because it allows people to feel free to lean into who they are, their identities, their beings, and that's a place of comfort and psychological safety that I think creates an environment where people can fully contribute at their highest level, and that's important to me.
The reason this is important is because sometimes we navigate through life believing that we shouldn't notice difference, right? People will say to me, Dr. White, I don't see color, I don't see race, I don't see gender. And the bottom line is that I think that they're well-intended, but we need to be able to notice difference.
I really like to meet clients where they are. I like to do an audit or an assessment to discover where are the gaps, where are the opportunities, and even inventory what they're doing well, because I find that oftentimes it's a matter of just putting some momentum around those areas that gives you the traction to then elevate the work to the next level. But I help organizations to fully operationalize diversity and inclusion, and that looks vastly different from one client to the next based upon their needs.
Activity does not equate to impact. Now, while I love a great diversity and inclusion program, the reality is that programs have start and end dates, right? This is a journey, it's not a destination. So what I like to impress upon CEOs and other leaders is to don't think about it as a program with a start and an end date, but rather see it as an opportunity to really be strategic in order to sustain the work of diversity and inclusion. What does that look like? Thinking about systems, policies, practices, procedures, impacting culture. That's how you sustain the work of diversity and inclusion.
I would love the opportunity to work with you to help take your diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives to the next level, to optimize performance and organizational effectiveness. I hope to hear from you soon.